Hi, today's topic is going to be what should you do if a tenant stops paying rent? So the first thing that you want to do is actually send a polite reminder. They could have easily forgotten. The time or the date may have actually gotten away from them. So send a text, send a friendly reminder, or actually just do a call. As you go along the steps, you want to make sure that you document all processes though. So whether it's a letter or whether it's a text or whether it's a inbox or in their Facebook or what have you, you want to make sure that you keep a paper trail of all correspondence with the tenant. The next thing is going to be issuing a formal notice. So you may actually type this document up, you may actually print it out and actually take it over to the rental property to actually have an official notice saying, hey, what's going on? It's time to pay the rent. I typically charge $25 a day. This is something that I find that tenants, they actually don't want to have a $25 a day late fee, so they try their best to actually get it in. However, I have had one incident where I've recently actually had to evict a person, unfortunately, and she actually owes back fees, and this is therefore the reason why I'm actually doing this video, because I think I let it go a little bit too far. You cannot be too kind in this business. You want to be kind, but you can't be too kind where it actually affects you. And so I've learned through this process, and so hopefully this process will actually help you as well. So the next thing is going to be discussing payment options. So I tried to work with her, as I mentioned before. I allowed her to pay. Actually, she was behind in the rent for a month. First of all, you have to be mindful that whenever you're dealing with tenants, that they typically lie sometimes. Some tenants, I'm not going to say all tenants, but they will lie. So she gave the excuse that her card had been scammed, or someone had taken some money off of her card. So I told her that she needed to give me a copy from the bank, where she said that she was working from the bank. Well, I never actually got that letter. And so as days passed, those $25 a day late fees continued to rack up, and she came up with every excuse. She asked me to give her an eviction notice so that she can take it to the local office that could actually do some help. I think she said even one time that she was going to take it to the Social Security office. So she just came up with excuses after excuses. And so after the second or third excuse, I said, okay, something is actually going on here. So she would pay the rent. She started paying the rent. So she was behind a month. And like I said, those late fees had actually started charging up. And so the next month, she was maybe a day or two late, and she paid, and she also paid the late fee. So it started to continue to be a little regular that she actually started doing the paying the rent late. And so I actually had to send her a text, and I said, hey, look, if I don't receive all of it next month, that includes late fees, and the month that you're actually behind, then we're going to have to start formal eviction notices. And so that brings us to the next step. You want to find out from your local area, your local police department, your local city court, or what have you, what the eviction process is in your area. In my area, you have a 5-day eviction notice that has to be filed. They don't include the weekends. They don't count holidays. So I made the mistake of actually serving her the formal eviction notice on a Saturday, not knowing that it didn't count until the following Monday. Well, that Monday actually was a holiday, so we couldn't even charge it for that specific day as well. So you want to make sure that you find out what the actual process is in your area. All areas don't work the same, so you want to make sure that it's going to be in your favor and not in the favor of the tenant. So I went and filed the formal eviction notice. First, I sent her a letter saying this is a formal eviction notice. Then I went to my local sheriff's office. They actually went and served her a formal eviction notice and put it on her door on that 5th day if they have not actually vacated the premises, and I can file a notice for a court date. And so that court date will make, they will go and tack something else on the door saying that this is the court date. If they fail to appear, then of course it rules in my favor. if they go to court and they try and contest it, then they actually have to have whatever, proof that they have that it should be in their favor. And so in addition to that, in order to get my back rent, what I can do is file a petition to either garnish their wages or have them to actually, the judge to actually come up with a plan for them to be able to pay me back. So you can get your previous rent back. It just depends on how the judge actually rules. Now, if the tenant still does not move after all of that, again, this is in my area. It doesn't mean that this is what actually is going to happen in your area. In my area, if they fail to vacate the premises within 24 hours after the judge does their ruling, then I have what is called a writ of possession, where I can take back the premises. The sheriff's department or the local police department, they come and they actually remove all of the items from the tenant's location. So you want to make sure that you follow the proper procedure. You want to make sure that you have all of the correct communication in order so that you can make sure that the judge actually rules in your favor. Now, at the bottom of my eviction notice, it basically says that in advance, I can actually have a potential leasee to sign off saying that they waive the formal eviction notice, because this is actually drawn out a little bit for me. So here I am, I'm sitting at the 5th day almost. And so that's 5 days that I'm going without rent. That may be extra time if they don't actually evict or leave the premises. Then that's even more time that I have less time to be able to find an actual new tenant to be able to get into the new into that property. So an eviction process is not something that we actually want to do, especially if you've worked hard trying to find a tenant in the first place. So I think from now on, I'm going to actually have a blurb in my lease agreement that says that you're waiving the 5-day eviction notice. This will give me 5 days back. And so what I will do, instead of having to file that 5-day eviction notice, I can go straight to actually filing formal procedures at the courthouse and setting a set date if they fail to vacate the premises after the 5 days. So I hope this information has been helpful to you. If it has, please like and subscribe. What type of issues have you actually had with evicting tenants? Have you ever had to evict a tenant before? Have you had to file legal proceedings in order to evict the tenant? What have you experienced with your rental properties? Thank you for subscribing. Hope you have a good day. Talk to you soon.